Today, it's a distinguished day, not only in the Gambia, but the world at large. What makes it distinguished? Because we are celebrating people who have contributed a lot in eradicating poverty, in ensuring food security. And who are those? Those are the very rural women that are present here today.
The celebration of Rural Women Day, which is taking place today here in CRR at Birkamaba, is a laudable initiative, and I would want to say that the office of the Governor of CRR welcomes you all to this very important occasion. The women constitute a great percentage of our population. And again, also, looking at their contributions towards the welfare of our citizens, which of course ranges from health care, food production, home care, taking care of the young ones. We are proud of you, and we want to encourage you to continue the good work, and we want to also assure you that we will be side by side with you, and we will give you all the support to enable you continue the good work that you are doing. I would also want to thank Action Aid, the Gambia. They are investing a lot in making sure that the women are provided for, and also they are guided in the right path.
Action Aid has worked with women, youth and children and other vulnerable groups of people to build their capacity to address poverty and other issues affecting them. The intervention include training, support in group formation, support in campaign and advocacy activities to influence policies and laws in their favor. In some instances, Action Aid has provided farming inputs to smallholder farmers as a pilot for wider replication to reach more people. The theme this year for this International Day of Women is Rural Women Cultivating Good Food for All. Narrowing it down to developing rural women's resilience in the wake of COVID-19 is a very timely and quite fitting. COVID-19 had a devastating effect on the lives and livelihood of women all around the world, and they need external support to reduce vulnerabilities and build their resilience to other shocks that might hit them in the future. This is in line with our strategy, objective of fighting against all forms of injustice and enhancing people's capacity to withstand impact of climate change. I would like to take this opportunity to call on all stakeholders to engage the rural women with the view of enhancing their ability to cope with the negative effect of climate change and any form of disasters. This is critical, given that women constitute more than 50% of the population and form majority of the smallholder farmers. Government and other stakeholders must ensure women's ownership and control over land as a key production resource, with the understanding that no one qualifies as a farmer without land. In addition, women must have ownership or access to other production resources such as seeds, fertilizer, and implements. Access to market must also be guaranteed to meet their other obligations. Water is a critical component when it comes to cultivation. Therefore, access to water is fundamental in cultivating good food. Women travel far globally to access water, and the Gambia is no exception.
It is no doubt that women contribute greatly to the socio-economic development of all countries, in which the Gambia is no exception. However, women, when fully empowered economically and socially, can become a potent force for change. In rural areas of the developing world, women play a key role in running households and make major contributions to the development of their respective countries. But it is undoubtedly evident that the inequalities that exist between women and men make it difficult for women to fulfill their potentials. Women rarely have access to the resources that would make their work more productive and ease their heavy workload. Ultimately, it is not just women who are held back, but also their families, their communities, and local economies. Rural women have many roles, and they have responsibilities and knowledge that differ from those of men. As farmers, they plant, weed, and harvest food crops and rear livestock. As caretakers, they look after children and relatives, prepare meal, and manage the home. Many women earn extra income by working as wage laborers, producing and selling vegetables, or engaging in small-scale trading and enterprises. Adding to these multiple tasks, they spend long hours fetching water and collecting firewood in developing countries. Women typically work 12 more hours per week than men. In poor and marginal areas and areas affected by climate change, where men have been forced to migrate in search of work, women often have the sole responsibility for farming and raising the children. As of their many responsibilities, women have significantly less access to the resources and services they need to increase their productivity and their income and ease their burden of household duties. Labor-intensive and time-consuming activities further hinder women's ability to improve their income earning potential. In order for poor communities to prosper and grow, women's needs and rights must be addressed. Investing in women at a time when smallholder agriculture is changing rapidly as a result of commercialization, globalization, climate change, new technologies, and migration patterns. It is important to recognize the key roles women play in agriculture. They need support to help them adapt to these changes and to seize emerging opportunities.
On October 15th, the international community observed International Day of Rural Women as a day that recognizes the critical role and contribution of rural women in enhancing agriculture and rural development, improving food security, and in eradicating hunger and rural poverty. The COVID-19 pandemic has shown everyone the strength and loveliness that the rural women and girls have always had, as they have been firmly standing at the front line of COVID-19, and this strength and love have remained intact despite the many challenges and disadvantages existing towards them, such as domestic violence, increased workloads, including caring for the children and the elderly, simultaneously whilst managing the COVID-19 pandemic. It is equally an unhidden truth that since the time of our ancestors, rural women have silently been the backbone of our societies. our society's development because they are the feeders of our societies, the preservers of our culture, and the builders of our economy through all the activities that they embark on. But these very women are rarely celebrated, acknowledged, supported, and they remain, with all that, they remain optimistic while sustaining our rural families, households, and communities. Nonetheless, the encouraged and enormous strength of rural women over the years have prepared them such a time as this. Undoubtedly, the world will be a different place when this pandemic ends. Post-COVID-19 world will require women who are robust, flexible, empowered to think and act. This is what we need for our rural women. They should be empowered to be robust, to be flexible, and to be able to think on their own. Likewise, post-COVID-19 will also require governments and key development agencies to invest in our rural women and girls now. Not any other time, but now. So that they will be resilient and be strengthened to be able to grow good food for all.
This year we celebrate Rural Women's Day. Here are our solutions. In agriculture, we requesting for the following. 1. Allocation of land to women by the authorities for sustainable agriculture and food security. 2. Provision of mechanized farm implements, fertilizer, climate smart seeds varieties, support women's vegetable gardens with proper fencing, adequate garden water facilities, chain link wares, and borehole materials. 3. Develop agricultural market facilities in the rural areas to cater for women agricultural products. 4. Develop rural processing centers for vegetable products for women vegetable producers. 5. Create microfinance and credit facilities for rural women. 6. Increase poultry production through providing subsidies for poultry feeds and materials. Initial capitals and cooling facilities are linked to markets. Increase rural dominance for production of rural women, indigenous breeds, and vaccine. For climate change, we call on 1. Government to strengthen enforce policies that will involve women participation in forest management committees. 2. Government to link with women to conduct tree planting and creation of orchards. 3. Government to develop projects and programs to develop rural women's resilience to negative effects of climate change. On sexual and reproductive health rights, we would like to see government to investigate maternal deaths in the country and address the issues. 2. Government to increase quality trained medical personnel in a rural health facility. 3. More qualified midwives in rural public health facility to help our pregnant women deliver safely. 4. Adequate drugs at our health public health to better health care of all. 5. More capacity building for women. God bless the Gambia. God bless you all.
Our rural women, our rural daughters, and our rural grandmothers, they are the food basket of this nation. And they must be given recognition, they must be given commendation, they must be given support, and I am quite certain that the demands that were given, handed over to the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, and also copies will be handed over to the Deputy Governor, as well as the National Assembly members and the representative of the DPS of the Ministry of Agriculture, to ensure that these demands are forwarded to the right people. We are certain that women are not part of those that are making decisions, but you are representatives of different institutions, and we call on you to ensure that the paper, or the paper that consists of the demands, are forwarded to the decision-making tables, so that these demands that the women made yesterday, they all left their homes yesterday and were with us throughout the day, coming up with these demands. So these demands are the realities that they live, and they must be endorsed. Support must be given, because once a woman is empowered, families are empowered, communities are empowered. Action Aid will continue its support as far as we are here to the government for providing an enabling environment for us to operate, and also to assure you that we will be partners forever, because it's a collective issue, it's a collective responsibility for nations to move, for nations to develop.
Thank you.